Okay, this is real important. Remember what I just said about confidentiality? If you tell anybody, it's blown if they're not under a confidentiality agreement. There's a real lesson here when you're working with inventors and innovators. People who invent things are excited about their inventions, and if you're excited, you want to talk about it. And sometimes you let things slip. So you have to talk to your inventors and innovators, or talk to yourself if you're the person, and make it clear how to talk about things without letting things slip. One rule of thumb is to talk about what something does, not how it does it. Usually that will keep you out of trouble, but not always. So you need to be aware of that too. The fundamental reality is you just have to think before you open your mouth. Or you have to assume that people will not think before they open their mouths, and then you have to write confidentiality agreements that take that into account. For example, a standard confidentiality agreement says, everything I tell you is not confidential unless I mark it as confidential, at which point it becomes confidential unless you got it in a way that does not violate this agreement. You can flip it. You can say everything I tell you is confidential unless I mark it as non-confidential. Whether the other party will sign that or not depends on how much they want to know about what you're doing. But you do have to be aware that inventors and innovators get excited and they will talk, and usually they will say more than discretion would say they should say. Not necessarily a bad thing, you just got to account for it. So try and train yourself or train them to talk about what rather than how, and to not go into too much detail until there's an NDA in place.